Hello everyone! Today we'll be discussing Dombey and Son, a powerful novel written by Charles Dickens in 1848. Dickens, one of the most prominent figures in Victorian literature, often used his writing to shine a light on the social issues of his time. Dombey and Son is no exception. It's both a family drama and a social commentary exploring themes of pride, materialism, and the impact of industrialization on personal lives. The novel follows the life of Mr. Paul Dombey, a wealthy businessman whose obsession with his son and his desire for a male heir to continue his legacy leads to tragedy and eventual redemption.
The story revolves around Mr. Dombey, who owns the successful firm Dombey and Son. He is obsessed with having a son to carry on his legacy, but his pride leads him to neglect his daughter Florence, whose love and affection he dismisses. When his son Paul Dombey is born, Mr. Dombey places all his hopes on him, ignoring Florence and the emotional needs of his family. Unfortunately, his son dies young, and the collapse of his business follows shortly after, leaving Mr. Dombey isolated and devastated. In the end, Mr. Dombey is forced to confront the consequences of his action, and he is reconciled with Florence, who continues to show him unconditional love despite all his wrongdoings. The main characters in the story are Mr. Dombey, who represents pride, materialism, and ambition. Florence is gentle and forgiving daughter, and Paul, the frail son, whose early death serves as the tragic symbol of the emotional cost of Mr. Dombey's obsessive desires.
One of the key themes of Dombey and Son is the destructive nature of pride and the pursuit of wealth without compassion. Mr. Dombey's obsession with his business and his desire for a son to carry on his name blank to the emotional needs of those closest to him, particularly Florence. This causes not only personal heartbreak, but also the collapse of the business and social standing. The novel also touches on the impact of industrialization during the Victorian era. As new industries begin to reshape society, Dickens critiques the way material success often comes at the expense of family and the personal relationships. Through Florence, Dickens also explores the importance of family bonds, resilience, and forgiveness. Despite the emotional neglect she suffers, Florence never abandons her father, showing us that love and humility hold far from value than wealth or pride. Ultimately, the moral of the story is clear. The pursuit of wealth and status without empathy and a human connection can lead to ruin. The novel suggests that the personal growth and the redemption are possible, but only through self-reflection and the willingness to change.
In conclusion, Dombey and Son is a timeless exploration of the consequences of greed and pride, as well as the redemptive power of love and humility. Dickens' portrayal of Mr. Dombey's fall from grace serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of losing sight of what truly matters: human relationships and personal integrity. It reminds us that material success cannot substitute for emotional fulfillment, and that love and forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds. Thank you.
For me, this novel shows the real morality of that period, and I feel so sorry and a pity for those girls who lived in that period, because they were so underestimated by their family, by everyone.
In my opinion, Dombey and the Son is a deeply moving and thought-provoking novel that highlights the timeless struggle between material ambition and the emotional connection. Dickens masterfully portrays the consequences of neglecting love and empathy in favor of pride and wealth. Overall, the novel remains incredibly relevant, encouraging us to value relationships and humanity over material success.
From my personal point of view, Dombey and Son shows how unfairly women were treated in Victorian times. Mr. Dombey cares only about his son and ignores his daughter, Florence, even though she is kind and strong. From a feminist view, the story points out this unfairness, but it still shows women as a quiet and forgiving.